Good morning, this is Dennis Miracle. Today I'm going to be making a design. I was asked on the forum by someone to make some smaller, just like change purses, and so I have made a design called Flower Power. Very simple. In the 4x4 for the 4x4 hoop and the 5x7 hoop, and I'm going to make one of the 4x4 size this morning out of cloth. I think probably making it out of vinyl would make it impossible to turn since it's going to be so small, so I'm going to make it out of cloth. And so let me get started, and I hope you enjoy watching this. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to include with each design a back which will be the same pretty flower as the front, and so that will be usually all of my backs are done separately. They're sold separately, but I'm going to include the back in this design called Flower Power, basically just for $1, selling it for $1 more, $4 instead of the $3. So I'm including that, and the first thing we need to do is to make the back. That needs to be made first. So I'm going to run the first step of the back piece. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, you can see that I ran the first step of the back panel. The second thing to do it was just the outline of where you need to place your batting. Batting needs to go down next, and so I'll place my batting over that and just pat it down. It should be fine, and then I'll put this, well, not just batting, I'm sorry. I want to put down the fabric also, but the batting goes down first. So let me put this in the machine, and then this will be stitched down, so I'll be right back. All right, you can see that the batting and the fabric have been stitched down, held down, so there's only one more step for the back piece, which is the actual quilting itself. So let me stick this back in, and it's will take about probably 7 or 8 minutes, but it will appear as if magic in just a moment, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, you can see that the back panel has been completed, so I'm going to take it out of the hoop and just set it aside and re-hoop and start on the front panel. So let me go over to the table and put in some stabilizer, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. You can see that I have put more stabilizer in the little 4x4 hoop. Let me just say that I'd forgotten to say earlier, I'm just using 5x5 squares for this project and 5x5 piece of batting. So for the front piece, you will need a zipper, and I've got just a handful of these tiny zippers. This is probably 6 inches. I mean, considering the whole, your design is 4 inches by 4 inches. In fact, it's like 3.91 or so, a little bit less than 4 inches. You know, if it's a 6-inch zipper, that should be plenty. And then I've had one of these little doodads here I'm going to use to stick as a little holder, a little connector, maybe to put your keys on or something like that. So anyhow, let me stick this in the machine and run the first step, and I'll be right back. All right, you can see that printed out the outer perimeter of the bag. Not printed out, sewed out the outer perimeter of the bag and the area for the placement of the zipper. So just take your zipper, and if you're using a number 3 zipper nylon zipper, which I hope you are, that'll make it easier. Just take it and you can see it goes perfectly between these line 1 and line 4. So take it, and let me explain also lines 2 and 3. This is where the actual stitching is going to occur. If you are using something other than a number 3 zipper and it's a little wider, or maybe it's even a little not quite as wide, I'm not sure if there's something that's even maybe less than an inch across, like these number 3 zippers. Anyhow, when you look at this, you'll know exactly where the stitching is going to occur, so you can plan accordingly. So let me just put this right here and tape it down. And I just love this little, it's nice to use a little hoop like this. It's so tiny. I just don't do it. I don't make anything using these, but this is an exception, and maybe I'll make some more. Anyhow, you can see I've got it all taped down. I'm going to stick it in the machine and do the second step, which will sew it down. Okay, the hoop is so small, you can see that I didn't have any place to put the tape. It was so small, so it's in the stitch line. Let me try to get it out so it's not, don't want to create an eyesore later with it. Just right here on the edges. Okay, perfect. All right, that worked out fine. That's fine. Okay, now let's take as this is made the same way every one of my bags is made, even though it's much tinier, that really doesn't matter. But turn your hoop over, and you see you have, as usual, the 4 lines. Take your lining fabric, place it face down, and you want it to be edge to edge with this 4th line down, and tape that down. Okay. All right, and one in the middle. Okay, and then turn the hoop over, and let's see, let me fold the little piece of fabric and try to attach it here to the tiny frame and see if it'll hold. I think maybe it will. Okay, now take your main fabric and do the same with it. Place it against the bottom of the zipper, edge to edge, and taking a little piece of tape on each side of it. I'll try to be more careful with my tape and make it smaller, really small, so I won't be out in the, all right, in the stitch line. Okay, I think that's good. All right, let me put this in the machine and run this next step. Oh, all right, now take your piece of batting. I think I've got this cut roughly 5 by 4. Let me see, it's 5 wide, and I cut about an inch off of it, so it should fit right under the stitch line. And take your, well, I don't have my iron. I couldn't get the iron in there. I was going to iron it down, but it wouldn't even fit in here even if it was warm. So just take and pull your fabric down over the piece of batting and just kind of finger press it so it'll stay in place. And stick this in your machine, and it's going to do the beautiful quilting. Takes, probably 6-7 minutes to do that. And I am almost out of black thread, so I may have to do, I don't know, end up with 2 threads here on the front. We'll see. So let me get started on that. All right, so the quilting on the front has been done. Let me see, I got a little, there we are. Okay. Now, that looks nice. That's going to be a real cute little change purse. So the next thing we need to do is release the piece of lining and let it fall back to the back. And let's take off these pieces of tape also on the back. And then take and fold it down. And then tape it back down. I'm trying to use these same pieces. Last time I did that, it ended up being a mess because this tape had been used, but I think this will be okay. Of course, I said that before, so much for that. And then also, while we're at it, we might as well get rid of this stabilizer behind your zipper, and I use just a paper towel so it comes up easily. Okay, that's good enough for now. Let me see if I can get that. Where's my, I need my tweezers. Let me see if I can cut this without cutting the zipper itself. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, now I don't like that thing, that string. Okay, all right. I don't like that string either. Okay. All right, now let's take and put it back and run step number 5, which will just tack this, sew down this back piece of lining. Be right back. All right, now turn it over to the back side to make sure that worked out and that there's not a problem, and there's just more. Let me see if I can get rid of some of these. Okay, all right, that looks good enough. All right, back to the front, and we need to open the zipper. That should be fine right there, and we need to, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? We need to, put on our little holder. I'm going to place it right here so we can put our key ring, and I'm going to tape it just off out of the stitch line, hopefully. Okay, like that, and also tape down the metal piece or it'll end up where it shouldn't be. All right, it's taped down. Now, take the piece that we made first, the back side, and this is, of course, the bottom with a little cutout here on the sides. Let me get rid of this paper towel. That's going to get on my nerves. So cut away your stabilizer. Okay, now I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Now you can see, of course, facing down, you want to place this right side down, and you can see where your these little cutouts are, and then you want to just match it as well as you can. These the bottom of the bottom right through here to the bottom here. So do the best you can, and it shouldn't be too difficult, hopefully. All right, is that right? Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. And tape it down on the sides. And I always tell you in my other bags to make sure that you're at least 1/4 of an inch above the zipper. And you can see the zipper right barely there, and you can see I'm way more than 1/4 inch past it. So that's good. And then tape it. There we are. Maybe that'll hold. All right, I'm going to adjust my embroidery foot height. If you can have a machine that will do that, I would suggest you might lift it a little bit so it doesn't, the presser foot doesn't dredge into your fabric. So let me do that. I'm going to raise my presser foot to 0.160. Okay, all right, I'm going to stick this back in, and it's going to just go basically follow these the exterior lines. That is, if I've got it located correctly. I think I've got it just about right over where it should be. So let me do that, and I'll meet you back in a moment. Alrighty, I think it probably did it pretty well. It's not perfect. You can see it's off just a little bit on the sides here, little tiny bit at the top, but it's not gonna be noticeable, I don't think. All right, our last step, we need to turn the hoop over, and put on our last piece of the interior fabric. So just place it over what's already there, and make sure that you are a 1/4 inch above this line here, the top, which is the top of the zipper. So go ahead and tape that down on all 4 corners, and which is not so easy to do because the hoop is very small. And we're going to put this in for this last step, and then that'll be the end of the sewing. Let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, the last bit of sewing has been completed, and I have, so that's sewing's over with. And let me just show you, this is how much thread I had left. So I was really playing thread chicken, and about a foot. So there's, what was that, Robinson Anton? Okay, so I need more black thread. Anywho, let's turn it over, make sure everything turned out okay. Yes, it did. And you see the space here to turn the bag through. And that's what we're going to do in just a moment. So let's take it out of the hoop. And this will be the same exactly, making, if you get the 5x7, I'm going to do the 4x4 and 5x7, including the back panels for each, for $6, or $4 for one size. And so keep that in mind. And there's something else I want to tell you, but I've forgotten. Let me pull these pieces of tape off. Okay. All right. Okay. Now take your scissors. Where are they? They're across the room. Let me go get them. All righty. And I do this just like every other thing I make. You start at this corner here. I cut from the lining side, just cut in to this where the stitches start, and then take your scissors and turn it, and then just proceed to follow the stitch line about 1/8 of an inch or so from the stitch line. Seems like I'm forgetting something. I guess I'll find out in a moment. Oh, I was going to say, if you do the 5x7 bag, I would cut my fabric 6x8, and probably that same zipper we used would have worked for it for a 5x7, but I would say a 6, maybe an 8-inch zipper would be best for a 5x7. Anyhow, I'm cutting along here, as you can see, about 1/8 of an inch away from the stitch line. And get down here, cut this like this, cut this in like this, and take and cut at an angle right into that area there, and hopefully it'll drop right off. Okay, maybe it's not going to drop right off. No, it's going to require me to do a little more cutting. Okay, now that looks good. Now you've got your 2 pieces of, take off that piece of tape, you've got your 2 pieces of lining fabric, pull those back, and then take all of the rest of this as junk. So you want to take your scissors and just cut very close, an 1/16 to 32nd of an inch away from the lining fabric. So there we go. That took just seconds because it's so small. Now here comes the somewhat challenging part. I don't think it'll be as challenging since I used all fabric, but we'll see. So I may have to turn this camera off. Oh no, this is not going to be easy. Oh. This is not going to be easy. In fact, let me turn off the camera. I'm afraid I might say something I might regret if this gets too difficult. I'll be right back. All right. I surprisingly did not have to say anything naughty, so I could have kept that running. But I'm going to take my iron now that's good and hot and just give it a little press like this. Oh, and I don't like that string there. That's okay. Let me cut it off. All right, so that looks pretty inside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and fold in this shortest piece first. So just take it and fold it, and like that, and give it a little press. All right, and then take the longer piece and do the exact same thing. Fold it in, and okay. All right, and take and give it a little press. Okay. And this is a little ugly here, but it's going to be at the bottom, so nobody's going to see it, but get rid of some of these threads. Okay, I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew a line of stitches real close to the edge right here. So let me do that. Okay, and let me cut off these stray threads. Okay, and then let's. It looks pretty good. Let me turn it inside or right side out. Let me open up this zipper if I can, as far as it'll go. Okay, and oh, I feel that piece of tape. Let me get that tape out that we taped down this piece of metal with. Get that out, and let's see if we can get this open. Okay. All right. That's coming slowly but surely. And this is a cute little, this will be a cute little thing maybe to keep in your car, to keep change in for tolls or something like that. I think I'm going to stick this in my glove compartment or my center console and put change in it, because you're always needing change. I mean, from time to time, you're on some toll road and you need a few, well, a lot of quarters. I don't know about other places, but here in Florida, we have a lot of toll roads, like every 5 miles. So, where's my poker? I need a poker. Use. Okay, that's working okay. Hope I don't poke all the way through, but if I do, I do. And then this. Okay. All right. And just take the zipper and mold it like it should be. Just take it like that. All right, and then let's close it. And let's give it a little press. Okay, a little press on the back side. Okay, And there you have it. This is the 4x4 Flower Power purse, and or change purse, and I think it's just as cute as can be, and so I hope you do too. And so there we have it. So thank you for being with me this morning and watching me make this. I'm gonna, and I've said this before and not entirely been truthful, I'm going to try to make some smaller designs like this, and I hope I can stick to that. Maybe for the new year I can make some smaller things, but it doesn't seem to matter. People aren't buying smaller things. I had a request for this, and I made it. And I'm going to make, and I've made the 5x7. I don't think I'll do a separate tutorial because it's the same construction process, but people say they want small items, but then again, when I do them, they don't buy them, so I don't know what to do. Anyhow, I'm glad I made it. It's cute. Hope you enjoyed it too, and I'll probably be back. It's Tuesday before Christmas. I'll probably be back again with something else before Christmas, but if I don't, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, or whatever, or nothing, whatever you celebrate, or maybe you don't celebrate anything at all, but hope you have a great week in any event. So thank you much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.